Oh, I guess if they want something enough, they just.
That's right.
Excuse me.
And I suppose that probably also.
Kia ora koutou, welcome along everybody to our final meeting for 2024. We will start our karakia, so I'll ask everyone to stand. Words are on the screen. Whakataka te ho i te whakataka te ho ki te tonga, kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara te ka. E hi ake ana te atakura, e kio, e ka, e ho, e he mauri ora. Good speak. Right, first item on the agenda is apologies. We have an apology from Victoria and from Pauline for lateness. She will be here shortly. So do I have a mover and a seconder for those? Sunita and Emma. With that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. And just to note, Jake is online. Can't see that he's here at the moment, but I can assure you he is. Just a heads up, we have withdrawn item 8 from today's agenda. That was the one around the Bishop Street parking. We'll consider that report next year. Item 2, declarations of interest. I have an interest in item 10, so Simon will step into the chair for that one. Item 3, confirmation of previous minutes. We have a mover and seconder for those. Emma and Ali will put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. That takes us to item 4, public forum. So we'll go to We Are Richmond. So we've got Murray and Bet here speaking on behalf of We Are Richmond about the Te Oraka Community Pools Initiative. Exciting to hear about.
Have you got your, you have got your.
Yeah.
Welcome along.
Ahi Māori e kia koutou. Ko Murray James toku ingoa, no We Are Richmond aho.
Ko Beck Rapaji tōku ingoa, ko Te Oraka tōku kaika, me taku.
Cool. Can I just get you to quickly flick your mic on there?
Oh, that's a good
Sure.
idea.
Where's the on button?
Along with the person.
The person.
There we go, perfect.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Murray James from We Are Richmond, and with me is Beck Rapaji, and she's representing Shirley Village Project and Te Oraka Shirley Intermediate School. Thanks to the board for all of your support past and ongoing to our communities, and thanks for your time today. To begin with, who knew? Interesting question, isn't it? But hidden behind the fence from Holdens that you can see right there is what I would, I guess it's sort of located in Richmond, but it's on the verge of Shirley, so we sort of collectively consider it ours. There's the most magnificent opportunity that's waiting to be realised.
There we go. So there's not one but 2 former school pools, still structurally sound. They are in need of some loving. Oh, where should I be pointing at? That way.
That's right. Just let Mark know and he can.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Slides.
Oh, you want a point though, don't you? Yeah.
What do you want to point?
No, I don't need to point that.
Okay.
So they do need some loving, and to be sustainable, operating pools will need to be more fully utilised than they were in the past. And that will require better filtration and heating than the existing systems. Next slide. And I'm sorry, this has got lots of action bits, so we have to keep clicking. But support is quite literally wrapped around the pools. We have 3 schools in easy walking distance. Should be able to bring those up, Mark. Yeah. And I've lost my train of thought. And then we've got 2 special needs groups nearby who want to use the pools, which also you'll be able to bring up. And then we've got resident groups literally on all sides that are keen to support this reactivation.
of which we are two.
Yeah, we're just two of the organisations, but we've got 12 currently working together on this. We haven't perhaps made a lot of physical progress, but we've certainly been laying metaphorical groundwork.
We certainly have. Yeah, we have made what we think is some great progress to date. So the first step, of course, was engagement with the Ministry of Education. So we've done that and received indications of support from them. We've had early communication with Mana Whenua, which is obviously always important, and agreement from the partner organisations to form a community trust as our structure and entered into a partnership with the Te Oraka School Board and the Ministry of Education as a three-way to allow the re-establishment and operation of the pools as a community facility rather than a school-only one. We've decided on our branding. Ta-da! We've also agreed on the stage one elements that we want to kick off with that are basically doable and established quite a considerable amount of in-kind and volunteer contributions. We've assessed those to make sure that they're tangible. We've prepared a capital budget that gets us back and operating. It doesn't cover operational costs, but the full cost estimate, if we got nothing for free, we've established at $750,000, excluding GST, to get us to open, basically. And net of what we have been promised and tangibly expect to receive, we get free stuff. What we basically need is about $550K in cold hard cash. Now, we've had a great kickstart to that. So we've received $60,000 from this community board in terms of better off funding, which we thank you greatly for. We've also received 15 grand from a Lion Foundation to enable us to do something about that hideous fencing. So hopefully early in the new year, we'll get some quick visible progress as well as the metaphorical.
So I guess this sort of money thermometer is the picture for getting up and running. But success of this project really depends on making sure that the ongoing operating costs are manageable. So Murray and I have spent the last 3 months participating in the Community Energy Activator program. We've learnt a heck of a lot, but we can see potential for power sources, heating systems, and heat retention systems, which will make the pools more truly sustainable, both environmentally and financially, to operate. We've even been inspired to look into larger scale solar power than we need to maybe sell power to local businesses.
Which is an interesting piece, actually. Hopefully we're not on too much of a timer. The opportunity is to not just grab a lease on the pool real estate, but also on the rooftop real estate of Te Oraka School, find support from a range of organisations to install a considerable solar array. And then what Orion is looking for is quick wins. So an easy way for them to strengthen a local power distribution network. And what we see as a huge opportunity is that we've got the Shell station, Kentucky Fried and other just across the road. We've got the Palms Mall just across the other corner, and electrical distribution stuff, what they call it, hardware, I suppose, right there, which means if we're generating and we can supply during peak load times, we can help strengthen the reliability of the network for Orion, but also generate a bit of income for the trust and then ultimately the school. So pretty excited about that. Support's an interesting thing. Tons of support for big shit. And by big stuff, I mean, an example is one that just kind of went ass up. I was going to use another phrase, but that would be inappropriate. But easy, if your project's 50 mil, you can get funding out of NZGIF. If your project is less than $1 million, there's pretty much no one interested. And so one of the things we've talked about is actually accumulating our project with some of the other cohort in this CEA pilot program, and maybe seeing if we can actually, as a group, be of more interest. But from our point of view, we've got to open the pool. And so this is all value add that hopefully may come off and may make the project a lot more robust in the long term for Tauranga.
Some pictures of the actual pool. This is from a Stuff article in 2013. It's when the pool's first reopened post-quakes. This is a prize giving from 2018 when the St Albans Swim Club was running lessons at the pools. This is my children when they were younger and cuter than they are now. These pictures give us a glimpse of what might be, but our vision isn't to go back to what we had before, but rather go forward to a new, more vibrant community asset. Our vision is accessible, pool-based recreation, learning and connecting for Shirley, Richmond and Dallington community members of all ages and abilities for years to come. So we will keep you up to date as we progress.
It's very exciting to hear what you've been doing in the background. It sounds like you're laying a really good foundation. We've got a question from Pauline and Ellie.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks, nice to see you. How long has it been closed all this time?
This will be the fourth summer, I think.
Wow, because in the 2013, when it reopened, I mean, that's when the ministry would not give any money and the community, and a lot of them from the St Albans Swim Club came up and actually got in there and got it fixed up. But I didn't know it'd been closed for that long now.
So, my kids did the swim lessons there in 2018.
She's got a cup, I see.
Yes,
Most enthusiastic splasher.
Every single child that season got a cup. And it's not entirely unrelated that by 2019 the school was under statutory management because operating the pool actually did kind of tip over financially. So we're really clear, school is really clear they are totally on board with this being a community asset. They see advantages for the school, obviously, but they're really clear they don't want to be left with it on their own again. And so I love that we have so many organisations willing to chip into this.
So then does the school still own the actual physical thing?
MOE owns the asset, so we'd be looking for probably a use agreement in the first instance.
Yeah, or kind of people call lease, so that you're a standalone charitable trust.
Correct.
Yes, and that's one of the key reasons to establish the trusts that are.
Okay, that's great. That's actually a really special pool because it's wider than most. It's another lane and a half or 2 lanes.
There's 2 pools, so there's like the lunar pool, which is kind of the size that most school pools are, and then there's this
the main
big
pool.
one, which is
and the filtration is arguably not up to ministry water quality standards. Now, as an aside to all of this, we're quite keen to actually clean the pool up, address any water seepage leaking issues, which we can actually pretty much do at no cost, very little cost, and rerun the existing filtration and just see what it actually does, whether we operate both pools or just the main pool. We've missed our opportunity to do it for, well, this side of Christmas and this summer. But if we can get enough volunteers behind it, I know I certainly am. I've got some free stuff that we can use to waterproof it, and we'll give that a crack and just see how it actually performs before we actually go to, within the budget, requires about $400,000 of filtration and plumbing upgrades. So that's the bulk of it. And there's no free lunches on that one because
So have you actually thought about disconnecting the wee one for a start and then just doing one, and the wee one you could build into a little skate park?
Not doable given the current circulatory system. They are completely intertwined. Apparently, we've got some work to do in that space, but if the filtration is everybody that wants to earn a buck by replacing it has very little interest in actually assessing what's there and saying, yes, we could cobble this together. Between Beck and I, we're yet to find a commercial operator that is interested in sort of, I suppose, compromising their commercial position. But we'll keep looking. And I guarantee you will find somebody with a social heart and a social conscience that actually wants to see the pools operating. Probably still won't meet MOE water quality standard, but would be functional enough for us to do a little bit of a trial and hook up some heating and just see how it rocks. So we're not welded to a strategic pathway that says we've got to have 750 grand.
And just quickly, Pauline and then Jake, Ellie and then Jake.
Thank you. Just three really quick ones. You mentioned that it's $750 basically to get it open without, the in-kind. Have you got any idea of OPEX, operating expenses for it?
Not yet.
Okay. You also mentioned that you needed more to attend than attended when it was open before. What sort of numbers are you looking at?
We haven't worked through all of that, but what we're getting at really is that rather than being just the school community and then, a bit of whānau use in the weekends, we've looked at other successful models in Wellington and elsewhere in the country, and some of them are just like fully utilised. So there's swim clubs in there every afternoon. There's
Well, there's a
toddler
real need
groups
for
on
an
Saturday
outdoor pool
mornings.
in that area. right?
Exactly.
That's the point.
So there's that aspect of using it through more of the week, but the other aspect is stage 2. We would love to get these both covered and reliably heated, and that would really make them more usable for those special needs groups that we have close by. If we could push it through more of the year, that would also, of course.
And just very quickly too, sorry, Maria, I'm going to get the old shepherd's crook in a minute. So just really quickly, because it's on MOE land and you've mentioned already the water quality having to be to MOE standard, what are the other limitations, if any, related to you running the pool because it's on MOE land?
Mainly funding is what we've encountered so far, Ellie. So RASA have indicated they're not interested in the slightest in supporting a project on ministry land.
Okay.
Other funders share similar views that that's an impediment. But we think we can probably get around that with a properly structured lease. And there is precedent for that. It's been achieved in, is it Oraki? Can't remember. So somewhere north of Wellington, there's precedent for this, and also for solar. Coming back to your question about OPEX, at the moment the OPEX spend by the schools on transportation to oversubscribed council facilities is outrageously expensive. So to save just that budget from the 3-4 schools locally gives us a wee kickstart on our operating cost cover.
Great, thanks, Mary. I love it. I love the solar.
Jake, have you got a very quick question?
It was actually Ellie's, but since you've asked me, so those schools have committed to putting in the money that they would otherwise be spending in bus travel.
Yes, as long as the ministry doesn't cut their throats.
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Well, as long as the ministry doesn't turn around and say, oh, well, hey, you can walk, so we'll cancel your transport budget, which they might have a propensity to consider. But generally speaking, the school don't think that that's the case. It's a little bit like the same with power, right? If we put a solar array on Te Oraka, we don't really want the ministry saying, well, it's free power. So we'll cut that from the budget. The whole idea is it needs to be recycled into the trust entity so that it's self-sustaining and sustainable.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool, thank you very much for coming along and giving us the update. I appreciate the work you're doing to make this project happen.
You're welcome.
Is it not already got solar panels?
No, it had the old
coils.
Alpine pipes, and some of them are still there, but they demolished the building in between that completed the circuit. So there's a break in it currently.
Did they?
Yes.
Thank you.
Kia ora.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, likewise. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Right, next up we have Olivia. Speak to us about the dance program that she did.
I have the photo, but who do I send it to?
I think I sent it to me.
Welcome along, Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm 14 years old, and it is an honor to speak to you here today. On August the 3rd, 2024, I joined Conversion Dance Studio's Aspire program. I joined the Aspire program to ensure I was ready for an international competition, which is known as Youth American Grand Prix. The Aspire program is a pre-professional program designed to nurture and challenge young dancers for their future profession. Within 30 hours of weekly training, I'm able to learn about technical skills, gym, modern styles, ballet, and cross-training to achieve my goals. This intensive program builds physical strength, discipline, and artistic skills. I'm so grateful to be able to take part of this program. With your support and funding, I'm able to take part of this amazing opportunity. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I think we are just,
I'll send it through later.
okay, yeah, we've got the photo, we'll get sent the photos. Amy, for a question?
So the 30 hours, was that in the program, or do you do 30 hours a week?
I do 30 hours a week.
Oh, wow. And anything else? Do you find time for anything else?
I just do piano.
Oh, right.
Right,
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
that's very impressive. Congratulations on your hard work.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and good luck with the future of it. Mm.
Take some food. You need the energy. Come on.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, we'll move on now to Sam, who's here from Northwest Sports and Community Hub. Welcome along, Sam.
There we go. So do I just point at you for each slide?
You can do all the, I think,
It should be
machine
working.
might be working now.
That one work? I'll see how it goes first. Yep, so. Hey, thanks for having our organisation on today. I'm Sam Watt, the chair of the Northwest Sport and Community Hub. So just a little bit about our vision, or why Hub was formed first. So we've seen a lot of evidence, in particular the Eastern Hub and all around New Zealand, where clubs and sports clubs come together, way better efficiencies are formed with facilities and participation levels. And we feel that the northwest of Christchurch, which covers the Papanui-Innes and Fenelton Waimari boards, probably is underinvested in, and we want to make sure, in terms of sport and community engagement, that the northwest area of Christchurch is really invested in, and there's a lot of opportunities for the youth and adults to participate and play where they live and participate. So our founding members are 2 rugby clubs, Maryvale Papanui and Marist Albion, 2 football clubs, Papanui Redwood and Nomads, Bowls Papanui and the Marist Albion Netball Club. We've got the community partner, the Kind Foundation, formerly the YMCA, and then also RSOs are on board with us, Touch Canterbury, Sport Canterbury, Canterbury Rugby Football Union and Mainland Foundation. We had, in July 2023, we had a big community workshop. We had 23 different community entities, and this includes some local council members. I think Angela Leatherby was there as well. RSOs and a lot of different sports club and community groups. And we sort of had a big, sheet of paper brainstorm situations like, what do you want in the area? If, it was sort of think big sort of thing, like if you could have anything sort of thing, what could we have? So that got sort of broken down, and we had working groups to discuss, these opportunities and what were people after, including, the facility or spaces or new opportunities in the Northwest area. And then we come to realise that Numwick Park, although was not in the Papanui-Innes board, a lot of the people in the Papanui-Innes community are going to use it, being right next door, was a massive opportunity where it's to discuss how we can improve it and the facilities to upgrade it as well. So looking here at the map of Numwick Park here, look how massive it is. And all it has is a wee toilet block and a wee storage shed. There's a massive blank canvas for us to create something really awesome that can benefit not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not, sports clubs and sports codes, touch, rugby union, football, ultimate frisbee just come to mind straight at the top of my head. So the identified areas, first of all, the fields need to have good drainage so they can support the use. Toilets, right now they're pretty dungaree, and we get those opportunities to upgrade the facilities. We might as well get some good toilets. We definitely need changing facilities. It also that can cater to the greater use and also the female participation as well. Lighting, so we can deliver sport on weeknights as people have different trends as well, and then a space for community if they need to connect as well. So this will lead to year-round usage, a safe environment, and create a real great community hub, which is what we're after. In general, with this, we obviously need a lot of partners to get this over the line when we're going up to the top dogs to use the space of the council. We've already liaised with the Fendalton Waimari board. We're wanting your support as well, the community boards. We've just been told by Angela Leatherby that the Canterbury Rugby Football Union has identified in the Sport Network field plan that Numwick Park is their priority, so we're on board as well. And Touch Canterbury and Ultimate Frisbee have also shown great interest. So I think Numwick Park in general is just such a great opportunity, and if we can have all these people together with us, then we can create something that is going to be special. And so what we need now is the support from these organisations to get a rolling to create a master plan, and then we can go to the next steps in there where it's the master plan's built, then we go look at funding opportunities, and then we get this thing off the ground and erected. So just open up now for any questions on the Numwick Park sort of idea, or even just the hub in general and any of the projects we've run so far. Hi.
Hello, yeah, just have you got an idea of dollars, what's needed to get?
I think what we think there would be around 2 million. And pretty early stages, but look, we've talked to sort of architects, and there's similar projects currently under the way at Lancaster Park, a bit smaller. Linwood, one of the rugby league keys, they're sort of starting projects at the moment on a smaller scale. We've also got the ones Rhodes Park, Taitapu. That's quite an impressive area, and then Require have actually just done one as well, and then Kaikoura are doing a similar thing at the moment as well.
And how are they mostly funded? Do you know? Yeah, you might not know.
Yeah,
that
so it's hard to
okay,
go into the details of those.
Thank you.
Simon?
Thank you, Sam. Just wanting to explore what, if you're looking for community board support, what would that look like?
Well, I think at the first stage is to get what we are looking for is to have people partner with us and be, champion us. And I've worked a little bit with Jason Middlemiss at the moment, and then get yourselves and Victoria as well on board with us. We would, that strength in numbers, that growth support, and really champion that there is a need for this. And that will lead to, the support there where we're going to have greater access to funding that we want to achieve to get this built.
Yeah, no, it's certainly something that we as a board could look to support when it comes to council budgeting. Emma?
So I saw there that you included Marist Netball and Marist Albion.
Yeah.
Is that
Rugby, yeah.
In there? So they are currently at
Egan McIntosh Park. So all netball is really played at Hagley or the netball centre. But so I'm the vice chair of Marist Albion and former senior player at Marist Albion as well. Egan Mac isn't fit for purpose as a rugby ground. It's only one field. We've let the hub and also Waipapa Papanui know that we are very open to relocating to Numwick Park, and we're a massively growing club, and we would, to make massive use of it, and Waipapa Papanui are on board with working together with us along with the hub and the other codes.
So my question would be, what's going to happen to those facilities?
Well, at the moment, the facilities are barely there at Egan Mac. So there's a cricket pavilion that is a makeshift rugby changing room that is probably the worst rugby changing room in Christchurch. So there will continue being a cricket pavilion. And the fields there's green space there that could be still used, and if the rugby union want to use it for rugby games, that could be, a field that could be used when there's stress on the other fields, or it could be used for football as well.
But aren't the clubs, aren't the clubs part of the bowling club in there?
They're not part of it, they just lease it.
Because I think that happened because they couldn't afford to cover the expenses of that.
Well, that's something that needs to be investigated, but there's also 3 bowls club in that area as well, with Morrison Ave, Bowls Papanui, and the Papanui Workingmen Club's bowls as well. So there's a lot of bowling clubs in the area, and I can understand what they have, but the Bowls Papanui also are very good at using their venue to book out a lot of conferences and stuff as well. So if there is no community space out at Nunwick, Marist Albion is still open to using Bowls Papanui as their social space. It's more the fields and the use of fields. Like we have half our teams play at South Hagley Park and then one play at Egamat, because you can only have 2 teams play. So it doesn't really change the situation too much there.
Yeah, my thought is just around all of the ones that move and what's going to happen with them. It has to be definitely something to be looked at, because most of those would be council facilities, would they? That the sports clubs are in, or?
The cricket club leases,
Yeah.
because we just did
Yeah,
last meeting.
yeah. So in that summer, so they won't get affected at all by
Great, well, thank you very much for coming along and giving us that update, and yeah, we will definitely support you. Have a good
Righty,
weekend.
thank you very much.
It's great the work that you are doing.
What
Appreciate
time
it.
do you want?
Absolutely.
It's not a question.
Take them away.
Oh, that I'm getting.
Hand them round.
Go for it. That's what
Yeah,
I need.
please, got plenty.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is for the board.
Oh, right.
Thank you very much, Sam.
I'm just thinking that we need to get this through to, recreation officers in town. So how would we do that? Could we just do a joint letter with the Pendleton Waimari board chair and just letter of support, raising it for awareness and asking what's the process we could do from here on in? Is it a bit early? Well, no, we're not asking for anything, just alerting.
Oh,
I'm assuming they probably know, but it would be quite good to do an action.
Well, I mean, our staff are involved with the group and are working on it, so our staff are hearing that we support it, right? Am I correct in saying that, Jason?
yeah.
Yeah. So I think at this stage,
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with leaving it at that.
Yeah.
And then when it comes the right time, we can certainly throw our support behind it.
Yeah, so our plan, sorry if I'm butting in, is to probably have a meeting with, is it Adrian Lamb? Possibly, I can't remember, from the council, with the Canterbury Rugby Football Union in the new year.
Okay.
And then, because the general feedback we've got is, that having that RSO support and then sport network field plan support is the one that's going to.
What's RSO again? Regional Sports Organisation, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, that's all good. Thanks very much.
So I guess our staff will keep us updated.
Yeah.
Good.
Right, next up we have Laura Cowley, who's going to report back on her participation in the Avonside Girls High School student exchange trip to France. Welcome along. Grab a seat. Yep.
Like the t-shirt. Want one of them? You have to go to France to get one, I suppose.
I'll hand over to you, Laura. Welcome along.
Hello, so I'm going to be talking about my trip to France and this. All right, so first we went for 2 weeks in Angers, which is a town in the northwest there, and we stayed with our host families and went to school, and we went to school for a few days, but the other days we were exploring town and going out to other cities. And there was a castle in Angers, as like in most cities there was a castle, which was pretty cool. Here are some pictures of the town centre and the streets and the town hall. Everything was like very old, so it's quite a change. Okay, so Montgazon was the school we went to. It used to be a monastery, which was changed into a school. So it had its own chapel and beautiful stained glass windows. We went to school they went for about 8 hours. That was like a full day, so that was quite long for us. And a 2-hour lunch break in the middle, where we'd go to a canteen and get trays and get our food, so that's pretty fun. It's quite tiring, like having all our lessons in French and yeah, and trying to figure out what they were saying. And we sang Ko Te Whirika to the English classes over there to show them our New Zealand culture and did presentations for them.
In French?
No, because we're doing the presentations to the English classes so they could like learn their English. Yeah. Yeah. The castles, yeah, so in pretty much every town there were castles, which was pretty cool. The town we stayed in, Angers, and then the castle of Clos-Lucé, which is where Leonardo da Vinci died and lived when he was older. Yeah, and a couple of others, so yeah. Yeah, my host family, there was the mum Natalie and the dad Laurent and my host student Claire. They took me to do some cool things on the weekend, like we went down a mine shaft where they mined for the material that they make all the roofs in Angers out of, which is ardoise, and they're only allowed to make their roofs out of ardoise, so that was pretty cool. And in the photo on the right, we are in a troglodyte cave. There are quite a few troglodyte caves near Angers in a place called Saumur. And yeah, there's like mushroom museums in them because they're not being used anymore for the troglodytes. And there we're at a restaurant. And then after the 2 weeks, we spent 1 week in Paris, where we went and saw pretty much every touristy thing. So that was fun. Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe. We saw the Moulin Rouge. We didn't go in, but yeah. And the Basilica of the Sacred Heart. And there are more photos on the slide. We went to the Louvre, which was really cool. We had a guided tour of that, and they told us about lots of the history of the paintings and everything. And we saw the Notre Dame, which was still being repaired, and the Opera Garnier, which is where where the Phantom of the Opera was set. We went to the catacombs and a fancy bistro on our last day. I tried some snails, which were pretty yum. Yeah, so that was Paris. And here are some other places that we went. Le Mont Saint-Michel, which is an abbey on an island. And yeah, there are shops all the way up. You walk up and then get to the abbey on top. And the Palais de Versailles is, yeah, the palace in Versailles where the last king and queen of France lived. And that was, yeah, quite decadent. Yeah, so it was a great experience. It was very nice to use my French and go to the culture that I've been learning about for about 5 years. So thank you very much for giving me the money to help get there. Thank you.
Great. Just a quick question for me. Did you find that the 5 years of French that you learned was enough, or was it quite different actually in conversation?
It was difficult. Yeah. The 5 years definitely helped, but it's definitely like class French is very different to going to France and speaking French, and they have all their slang words and everything. So, but yeah, it was good. It was really good to actually see what it's like. Yeah.
Ali?
Yeah, just a couple of things. You said there that you tried cheeses because in New Zealand we don't have the kind of cheese. Did you go into a supermarket and see the cheeses there?
I did go into the supermarket. I didn't.
So they like do rows and rows of cheese. I just wanted to lie in the aisle of cheese.
I didn't actually go to many. I only went to the supermarket once, but it's more like our host family. They had cheese and bread every night after dinner, and that had like lots of different types. So I tried a lot there, yeah.
Well, I learned high school French and I've been back there 3 or 4 times and it still comes back to you. And the more you use it when you're in that environment, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Even if you make mistakes, I remember going into a shop and asking for something for my hair, which I think was, what's hair, cheveux, but I asked for something for my horse, which was cheval.
Yeah.
So did it work? No. We laughed, which is great because I've got a good sense of humour if you try.
Yeah.
So keep it up if you love it because it's really great, even as you get old like me, it's brilliant to use. Yeah. Well done. Great. Older.
Thank you very much for coming back to the report to us.
Thank
and,
you.
Proud to have been able to support you on your trip.
Good job.
Right, item 5, deputations, we don't have any today. Item 6, presentation of petitions, there are none of those either. So that takes us to staff reports, and we're just going to switch up the order a little bit, and we're going to jump to Jason's DRF ones, which is item 14 and 15. So, table. The first.
Great. Yeah, so Shirley Rugby League have applied to our DRF for their whānau camp, which is the 19th to 20th of January. They do it every year and it seems to be really beneficial. A great time for the young ones to reconnect with their friends and the players, but also bring their parents along and provide a really safe environment for them. So we're looking to subsidise the costs and hope to see some funding to help with that.
I'll move.
Yeah, and I'm happy to second it. Are there any questions?
Why didn't we go the whole hog? We've stopped by about $480 or something, haven't we?
Just wasn't feeling that generous that day.
Be very careful, you're being recorded. Yeah, so I think, just remember, because I haven't got it in front of me, 2,480 they wanted and we're giving them 2,000, that's right?
Great.
Yeah,
This is item 14.
They wanted 5,600.
Sorry, 5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong one then, sorry, I'm doing.
Sorry, we have recommended 4,000, yes.
Out of
Sorry, I'm
6.
looking at the wrong one, beg your pardon, yeah.
And you feel that's okay?
Yes, I feel like with their fundraiser that they're looking to do a sausage sizzle, which will help get that extra.
Emma, did you have a question?
So to 14 now. So last year, so what sort of uptake was, how was it uptaken? Is that the right word, last year?
Yeah, we don't actually know the exact numbers, but I talked to the junior club captain a couple of weeks ago and he said that there was a lot of families that still attended and came along and really beneficial for the group.
It'd be nice to know those
I think
numbers.
They talked about it at the community house on the weekend. I think it was about 70.
Yeah, I was going to say between 50 to 80, I can't quite remember, but yeah.
Pretty sure it was around that number.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good stuff to know because if it is about bringing the families together, it'd be nice to know, how many families actually go out of the team to make sure that it's worthwhile, not just put on for a few.
100%. Yeah, no, there's a significant number.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Put that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Cool. And now item 15, the Papanui League.
That's the one I was meaning, sorry.
Yeah. So Papanui League Club, their changing room had a leak that they were unaware of and they damaged the ceiling, which they're looking to get some new materials to fix the ceiling. The leak and the labour costs is going to be put on by the community and people within the club, so they're just seeking funding for the materials.
I think so.
So that was my question, yeah.
Well, I'd support the full amount because they're providing the labour in the community.
Yeah, they're making an
Yeah,
effort.
most certainly.
So you want to move to 408?
And I'll second it.
Ellie will second it?
Yeah.
Cool. No
Oh,
questions?
sorry, yep.
Okay, we'll put that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
That is carried. Thanks very much, Jason.
Thank you very much.
I understand you've got some important fees.
Thank you for your adaptability.
No,
So appreciate it.
Very question.
Yeah, very good.
Right, so we'll now go back to item 7. Which is the proposed mobility parking at Lancaster Park on Stephen Street, and we've got Selena here. So we can probably take.
Don't even sit down.
Yeah, I was going to say it. Are there any of you object? No, I'm happy to move it. Do we have a second now?
Yep.
Okay, we'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Right, that is carried.
Thank you.
Selena.
Hang on, have you got chocolate?
Yeah, no, it's a requirement today that you hand chocolate.
All right, thank you.
So
Gone, isn't it? Bishop's gone.
Bishop's gone, we're doing that next year. Item 9, Virgil Place.
Is there any reason why we can't have a quick chat about that, or is it
We're
just?
not doing it, no. Item 9, Virgil Place, we've got Sally in here, but we'll take the report as read. Ali, you've got a question?
Yeah. Hi there. My question was, are we not just doing what should? Hang on a second. Before I get, well, no, this is Virgil we're doing now, isn't it?
Yeah, the narrow.
Oh, my question's about the other one, sorry. Yeah.
Happy to move.
Simon's moved it, I'll second it.
Yeah.
Put that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
What's this next one?
Item 10, I'll hand over to Simon for this one.
Oh, super. Okay, thank you. So Sally Ann again. So do we have some questions first of all?
Yeah, sorry, I'm ahead of myself today.
That's right.
This to me seems a bit like doing something that we don't need to do and shouldn't need to do, that it's down to enforcement. Would that be fair? It's.
Yes, normally, it was just that we're getting so many complaints about it, and because it's happening at just very short times of the day, i.e. school drop off and school pick up, by the time anyone reports it, they've gone. So it was just to reinforce that behaviour.
Right.
In that location.
And these people, they will take note of yellow lines. It's not the sort of thing that they, I mean, if they're.
Well, yeah, hopefully. I mean, it is already an area that you shouldn't be parking.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
Then why, so I'm wondering what difference will yellow, but you're using it as a deterrent, really. aren't you? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No, lots of people think that if there's no yellow line, they can park. They can park.
Well,
Yeah.
they need to keep it going because it's wrong.
Yeah, any other questions?
Sorry.
Otherwise, I'm happy to move this one. Do we have a seconder? Don has seconded. All those in favour?
Aye.
Any against? That's carried. Thank you, Sally Ann. Now back to you.
Again. And next up, we have item 11, Rutland Street, Westminster, road replacement traffic light. You want to speak to this one at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's been brought up by, we've had seven or eight tickets from the community about it. I know Ali's all over it. So, I mean, there's no ideal solution, really. It needs something there to stop the right turn movement from Rutland Street.
So I want to ask about that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was signposted when it initially went in. I know that Peloton highlighters, they were involved heavily with the design of it. They had real issues with the fact it's just been continuously ignored, which is why this plastic median has been put in. I mean, that's still being ignored. It's arguably not quite long enough either, because you can get around the two ends of it.
Have you ever seen the video?
Yep.
So I was down there today videoing it, and there was actually, it was just timing. The courier came around and did exactly that move, but instead of going around it because it was a big van, they went up the driveway of the person that's opposite Westminster, backed, and then went round again. So it was just incredible timing.
Yeah, and we can see it from the St Albans intersection camera as well. So we've been able to see people doing it.
You would have seen quite a lot of valley then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I said to my husband the other day, I said to him he was going to do, I said, don't you bloody dare. I said, I've to hide in the princess.
I mean, there is just enough room to sneak in this island. And we have put one in at the Antigua Hazeldean intersection, which has got roughly, it's about the same. And that appears to be working. I went and had a good nose around, and there's no tyre marks on it, not loads of them, and it's the concrete's holding up as well. So that just seems to be working in that location. I've been out on Park Terrace, looking at I've been bending them and seeing if you can unscrew them. And they're quite easy to push over, and they don't quite spring up as well. So I think putting those in, once people realise just how bendy they are, you could nudge over them and just drive off. And I think after a while, they'll just end up at all angles.
Okay. What's going to stop them driving over the concrete?
Oh, you damage your car.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping because it's quite wide, and there'll be signs opposite, and there's going to be signs on the end of it as well. I mean, I think they'll have to take a bit of a run up to get over it, hopefully.
Can I ask the questions that I want to follow up on that, please? Just because sorry. The issue that I've got with this, and I want to put it on the table, because I still don't understand why cars can't turn right out of there. Because you're crossing one lot of cycleway, but you're crossing the cycleway if you turn left out of there anyway.
Yeah.
So can you just explain that? Because part of me wants to just get rid of it
Yeah.
completely.
So the rationale of it is,
We had an email.
No response.
yeah,
Sorry.
so because it's so close to St Albans, the St Albans intersection, which has got lights in there.
Yeah.
When that's on the red light and it's
Yeah.
busy, by the time you get 6 cars waiting, those cars obscure the
So it's the
view
backup.
of cyclists heading south, right turning traffic. That was the rationale behind preventing that turning movement.
Is it the right turn from Rutland into
I
Westminster?
don't know if you can see my little plan here.
I feel that came through on the email.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't
So
seen that
that's-
email, so let's all just calm down a bit. I haven't actually read it yet, so my
So-
apologies for that.
That's St
I've been
Albans
reading.
Street there.
Too
So
soon. Thank you.
when the red light's here and traffic backs up, and this is Westminster, this traffic obscures the view of cyclists waiting to turn in here from heading south.
But basically, it's part of it.
So when the red light's on here,
Yeah.
the traffic backing up here
Yeah.
Going at the.
obscures the view of traffic turning that way, cyclists heading that way.
No, because if traffic's
Emma,
not there,
Happy to move.
then surely you can see.
Hold on, I've got
This, that was the reason.
Yeah, well,
Can we just back to one person asking questions?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Sunita, you had a question?
No,
Or you just wanted to move? Okay, so we'll go Simon and then Emma.
Okay, so,
Hang on.
It's the last meeting.
Just a question around the width of the road and the width of the median.
Yeah.
And that's something that has sort of been flagged as a potential concern. Is there enough width in the road corridor for an 80 centimetre wide?
Yes.
No, there's
Yeah.
less.
Like 3 metres each side, that's the road, it's 3.8 metres, so you can get a 3 metre wide carriageway, which is the minimum you'd want for a road of this classification with the 0.8 metre wide.
That's right.
Emma,
so we have another minimum
It's the-
road in the area. We've got lots of minimum,
Just
below
that
minimum
18
roads in the area. They just keep on adding to them. So long term, so we've got issues coming to our board all the time about Springfield Road,
Yeah,
and about the whole area. So has this, what has been done, to look at the roading in that area?
but that's
What
not
relates to that?
about this.
Doesn't relate to.
It is, because I wonder if this is pointless to be doing this at this present time when we know that that area is coming up to look at. We are, it's in our plan to look at.
Yeah, and it will happen,
And I
but
just, this may, why don't we?
this has come in response to multiple requests from the community. It's a safety issue that has been, it was identified when the NCR was built.
If you accept that, yes.
Yeah,
If you accept.
yeah,
that.
the thing
But I'm
is,
taking the stuff.
we both
Absolutely,
live in the
experts, aren't they?
area.
No, not on this
I
one.
personally was
Because it was
involved
Peloton
in
that
this,
did it.
and I personally was lied to about the project when it was happening. So again, there is.
Happy to second if there's a second required.
This particular project, the one we have in front of us at this time.
Okay,
Do we have any more questions?
So-
Because Sunita has moved it.
and Jake just seconded.
Yeah. Hey, look, hang on a minute, folks. This is really important, and you might think that it's okay to just push this through. But actually, I've been down there, I've measured it, and thank you for looking at this, Simon. I really appreciate it. It was the only person who actually looked at what I sent.
I did look,
Yeah.
try to look at.
Well, you should have let me know, because then I would show you, and you would have seen how close the traffic is to the increase from 30 centimetres or 25 to 80 centimetres of a concrete block in the middle of a busy road. My question is, Antigua Street, is it the same as this as far as number of cars, the 2 cycleways? Are we comparing apples with apples
I'd
here?
argue that it's busier on Antigua.
On Antigua,
Yeah,
okay.
I think
So
I'm pretty sure the cycleways along there.
Okay, the point that Emma tried to be a little clever about with the expert advice, Could you just explain to me when the advice was given about the obscuring of the cyclists? Because when you're driving down Rutland Street to turn left into Westminster, so you're travelling towards St Albans Street, if you turn left, you're actually turning across cycles. Yeah?
You can see them in the side mirror.
Yeah, you can, but it is still something that you have to stop and look for, right? So when you're driving down Rutland Street and you're turning, say, right into Westminster, you could stop and you could see whether there were cyclists coming through.
Yeah, it was picked up in the safety audit at the time that it was an issue, and that was why the
But you
original.
could stop and turn right into Westminster and see cycles coming in the same way that you can rear view, eh?
A lot of these cars queued up as Sally Ann said, if these cars queued up from the light, which they do in the morning, they get right back past Westminster.
Yeah, I know, I see it every day, twice or 2 or 3 times a day. So the bikes coming along there, you can actually see them. Because they're moving.
I mean, if you're just in a normal car and you've got a wall of cars in front of you,
Right.
It's not if they're on an e-bike doing, I don't know, 30, 40k.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have pretty snappy reactions.
Yeah, I would suggest that cyclists shouldn't be travelling at 30
Yeah, I
k's
agree
down
with
there,
you on
right?
that
So
as well,
it's
but it is
even
happening.
15,
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so what I'm saying to you is after going down there today, and I know to your point, the minimum size there is very little space between the cars and
Yeah.
what's now going to be almost 3 times the size.
Yeah, I agree.
Medium.
It's not ideal.
No.
Ideally, it would be 3.25.
So if you put the beam, or the rubber one that's there at the moment, because what people are doing is they're not driving over it. Some of them are, but they're going around it, which is what my video showed this morning. If you made that longer so that they can't actually go around it, because once you're on that side of the road, because they're going around it from Westminster, which gives them a longer lead in, right? So if you put the rubber right the way along and made it a bit longer, would that, in your opinion, stop them? I mean, they couldn't actually go around it.
We've watched them on camera driving over it as
Right.
well.
And
so
is
it's
that
not
common?
fairly common? Yeah, it is occurring. Yeah.
Right. Okay, and what about making the rubber slightly higher? Would that deter them?
I'm not sure if that's I don't know if that option's available. I haven't looked into that. So we could investigate.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if we haven't looked at all of the options, and it might be making the rubber one a little higher to deter people, it then means we don't have to put a big chunk of concrete in the middle of the road, where at the moment it'll be a minimum on a minimum. So, I mean, that's what I would be suggesting, is that we look at increasing the height of the rubber separator.
I've got a question. So you see that the reason it has to be 80 wide is so that it can do the signage.
Yes, to accommodate the signage.
So the rubber one obviously doesn't have any signage on that, doesn't require the same signage.
No.
Is that because of what it's made of?
I'm not entirely.
We've got a.
Not a
Sorry, I am entirely joking. I am just joking.
Okay, yeah, I don't, it would become because it's so narrow, big signs on it. I mean, we wouldn't, yeah.
But we didn't need to put signs on that one.
Yeah, I suspect because it's not a hazard.
But we need to put a sign on it if it's concrete. It's higher, you'd have.
Yeah.
But if it was higher.
Ideally, yeah.
So then it would have to be wider.
So that kind of undersells it. If it was higher, then it possibly would need a sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you'd have to make it wider to accommodate the sign. You may as well do concrete.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can actually buy these. I'm not sure. About
Yes,
the
but
effects,
signs are wide, like the concrete.
Yeah.
That's why the concrete's so wide, to accommodate the sign.
You can't have the sign sticking out either side.
Right, so we're going to have a big chunk of concrete and a big sign sticking up out of it as well, in the middle of a road.
That's what they say, smile, don't worry, smile.
Right, are there any more questions for Sally Ann? No, we have a mover and Jake Sneed has moved it, Jake has seconded it. Emma,
Do we in debate now?
we'll go to debate now, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will be voting against this purely based on the fact that we have been made aware that Courtney Street has gone over the 30% threshold for the NOR. And so that will mean that we will be required to be looking at this area. And from my information from locals is that they have always recommended that Westminster, there is a possibility of Westminster and Courtenay working as one ways. And that would probably need to be investigated during this process. So I think we're sort of wasting our money, and we should perhaps just look at replacing what is there at the moment until we look at the full area in the future, in the very near future. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ellie?
Yeah, I agree, not necessarily for those reasons, but again, this is just a matter of going down there and having a look at what happens. And I was down there today, and to go from 25 centimetres in the middle of the road to 3 times that with a concrete block in the middle of the road is just insane. You've got children down there, you've got cycles, you've got cars, and it's a very, very busy road. And as for obscuring cyclists, I mean, you can't see in a lot of places coming out of some of those streets, and the obligation is on the driver to drive defensively, and on the cyclist also be aware of the drivers that they're around. And this is completely unnecessary, in my opinion. I mean, you cannot turn right into there, and you cannot turn right out of there. So at the moment, it's difficult enough to get into Westminster Street, but to stick a big piece of concrete in the middle of Rutland is just insane. So I won't be supporting it either.
Elaine?
Yeah, thank you. It may not be ideal, but often, and it's generally the rule, that the narrower the driving space, the slower people go anyway, which is why we do a lot of road narrowing around the corners and big wide streets to slow people down, which is really important. The thing is here, it's the MCR, and we need to protect the cyclists because we're encouraging the keen but concerned cyclists to get on their bikes, get out of their cars, get on their bikes. It's a well-used cycleway. I go down to this area a lot as well. I go through here a lot, and often on my bike. So I'm supporting this because we need it for safety, and I don't think we should wait and put back what we had, because A, it's not long enough, not really working, and B, there's such a lot of operational cost replacing those things all the time. I think this will be a good solution, so I'll support it today.
Simon?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sally Ann, for clarification around the width question. I'm happy with a 3 metre corridor, and I've had a quick look at the Antigua Hazeldean intersection while we've been talking, and it seems like that's working fine for us. And as Pauline said, the narrower the road, generally the lower the speed, which I can see as being a good thing here. And I can see this doing a good job of protecting and preventing those right turns into Westminster, which is clearly the major concern around the interaction with the cycleway. I suspect there's very little that could be done about that sort of 3-point manoeuvre that Ellie's pointed out to us, given that there is a property there at the south end of the thing. But I can see it working really well to prevent the right turns in. So, for the cost, happy to support this, and then we can look at wider issues or other issues separately.
Anyone else? No. Okay, we'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against?
Yep.
Ellie and Emma, want that noted?
Yes, please.
That is carried. Thank you very much, Sally Ann. Appreciate your time on that one.
When's the work, Sally Ann? When will the work be done?
Oh, I don't know. I've got to go back and speak to the whole purse strings.
And you don't know how long it will take either?
No, I've got no time in it.
How can we find that out just for our?
Hopefully they'll do it over the holidays.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you.
You can probably tell us, Ellie, because
Great.
If we get bloody note.
Now to item 12, BRF application from Community Growth Trust. Just noting that we have had a bunch of questions answered on this one, which are included with the agenda.
I'm happy to move this.
Ellie's moved it. I will second it. Any questions, Stacey? No. Okay, we'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Emma. Emma is against. That is carried. Thanks for your work on that one, Stacey. And item 13, you as well. Take the report as read.
I'll move.
Pauline's moved, Sunita's.
Did you want to move it?
No, that's all right. Just because it's an Indian.
My goodness.
We'll put that in motion. All those in favour? Aye.
Aye.
It is
It looks
carried.
cool, it looks really cool.
Thanks, Stacey.
Did a good job.
And then item 16. Mary's application for Together Diverse. Welcome, Trev. Okay, report is read. Any questions?
I'm happy to move it. I'm happy to move it.
Ali, John?
John, don't you have a conflict of interest?
No,
For what? Not this one.
not this one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. So, Simon, question?
Thank you, Trevor. Am I right in thinking this is a new organisation in terms of council funding or board funding?
Yes, new organisation. They were established in October 23.
Yeah.
And they've been working as volunteers with all their adult children and supports. They've been doing this, delivering their programs, using all their volunteer expertise and families and their own costs, while at the same time they try to structure up their trust so they can deliver both arms. This is seen as pure community development to support them to continue their programs, while I, if they wish me to come along and help them support their trust of development.
Thank you.
Great. So,
I wonder if they want to come and talk to us sometime.
That would be nice.
yeah, it might be in the new year.
That'd be nice.
So we had a mover and a seconder, Ali and John. So we'll put that motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? That is carried. The area report for December. Another great report.
Thank you, Mark.
Are there any questions on this one? I'm happy to move that we receive it.
I'm happy to second it.
Ali seconded it.
Yeah,
No questions?
hold on, was anyone surprised with the outcome from the oh no, that's the SEP on the McFarlane Park. No. Oh, just
No, you're right.
it was just in regards to the bedding, but it's not in it, is it? I'm sorry,
it was a separate
the
memo.
alcohol bans, yeah, no, sorry, yeah.
Pauline?
I think Ellie was.
Oh, just very quickly, I didn't get a photograph to you of the community award for Madaho Primary. So Juno or Healy's Tiller. I'll spell it for you later, Trev. She, year 8, got the Community Board Award. It's a beautiful wooden power award. And there was a photograph taken, but it was actually quite a formal event. And so I didn't want to be stuffing around with, can someone take a picture? Can I? They will send one to us. Yeah, so, but I'm sorry I didn't get it in time for
We'll
this.
get that recorded.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other boards doing those?
So, but they, I've done a couple and they are hugely appreciated.
It's really nice to, the next time you speak at council, perhaps take one of them in and show.
Yeah, we've highlighted them last year when we did.
It's
them.
I don't
beautiful.
know if I've seen one in person though.
No, because the kids, the students have got the awards. And the schools, we basically last year handed them over to schools and they take ownership of them to give out each year. We don't get them back or anything.
Right, so we need to
We
see them
can't
physically.
actually-
We see them when we are handing it.
Yeah, I know
But
that,
that's
but we haven't
about,
got a
yeah.
stack of them here.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
on that,
Oh, yeah, it's on that. So we give one to a school and then it keeps rolling around every year.
Yeah. So when we did them, we gave the school sort of a broad criteria, right? And then they sort of individualize it using that to their school.
Yeah.
I've seen the school display cabinets as a visit.
right.
Looks really good.
I was just going to mention the little Poland Park that I did the unveiling of the park, but it was actually an incredible event because the mayor came down from where was she? Up there, up North Island somewhere where the little Poland.
Yeah, she's,
Park.
the districts. I forget which district it is, but yes,
Probably-
here too as one of the towns.
So when they first came on the ship in about 1944, 733 orphan children came, and it was Peter Fraser, the Prime Minister, that said, yeah, bring them in. And they went to a little place that they called Little Poland in the North Island. And those poor little children, and it was thought that they'd only be temporary, but they all stayed here. And so you remember they came to the board here and asked, and this happened within the year.
Yeah.
And I think the council's done an incredible job on this, go and have a look at the plaque, and I wasn't even aware that Oakridge was such a big subdivision. I felt really bad because it's in my wood. Anyway, I found it now. These little subdivisions are popping up all over the show. And the people in there are so happy with this plaque. So there's a plaque and there's a tree planted with a plaque there, and then they had 4 of the original children there. 4 of the originals, and it was just so moving. It was incredible, and to think that our country has done such a good thing, welcoming them and giving them a home and a life, and they've been valuable members of the community. So I just wanted to say I was just quite blown out at the size of the event and the support and the vibe. So yeah, I'll just say that.
Right. So no more questions from that report? No. Okay, it's been moved and seconded, so I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Aye. Is that carried?
Get a Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Take off like previous year in 63 days.
Who's been
You hate us that much.
Right, that takes us to our members' information exchange.
Sorry, Emma.
Ellie?
Yeah, I just want to pass on thanks to staff for getting that pavement done on Melbourne Street outside the rugby union as quickly as they did. Pauline was involved in that as well, just about getting the pavement done so quickly outside the rugby union. I mean, nutty timing and nothing wrong with the pavement, which are other issues, but they did get on with it and do it very quickly, and it looks great. Just further to the issues on roading and transport. Again, I've been sending videos and photographs through, which I've been sending through to Mark, which I think was the correct process when we had the roading people come. That was what we were supposed to do. But I'm not getting any follow-up on that, either directly or through the board. Can I just get some idea of what the process is there? I mean, seeing roads repaired and pavements being replaced that are in far better condition than the stuff I'm sending through to transport's quite annoying, and I just want some, and disappointing actually. I just want some idea. Is it going into a big black hole somewhere, or is it followed up? Can I just have some idea, please?
Yeah, that's
Transport
what you're saying.
Yeah,
All that
like
feedback's
in-
getting collated.
Yeah, the transport team, when they came and gave
Yes.
position,
Yes.
asked for feedback. We're collating all the feedback ready to give, which we'll send through, which will go into scheduling their programmes over the coming.
Oh, so it's not going directly to them, you're filtering and going through it?
It's going direct. It's not gone directly to them yet.
Right.
We've collated all of the information and it will be sent through.
Okay, and where's their process? So can you just remind me about timing wise and what informs it, deadline wise and things like that? So I know there was nothing that could change for 25, is that right?
That they could schedule in depending on
Which part
which part of the,
That's all right. Look, just if you can just get back on timeframes and when it's going to them, that would be really helpful. Great. Okay.
It definitely has not been lost.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Can we have a look at that before you send it off?
Yeah, we'd be interested to see what other people have sent in.
Send it to council.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another email from Juliana Benning about St Albans Park. And she said this, behind the skate park there, obviously people hanging out there and being up to not very nice things. She says lots of needles there. And she's requesting could we have some surveillance or more regular checks in that area, because there's been some rangers there with helpers cleaning it up and it's dangerous. Just wanted to raise that.
Behind the skate park.
And that little bit of
where the hedges that goes along.
Yeah, and there's sort of shrubs, and then there's the bowling building. I think it's in there.
You would think that there's security checking that building out every night. So we could check if the council does a security check of the building every night, and they could perhaps look across the fence as well.
Yeah, it's more like perhaps letting people know that there's people who are going in there to clean up, that there are dangerous things in there. I think
the parks team.
Yes.
Okay, let's make note of that.
Sure, I'll forward the email to Mark. Yep, just put a picture on this one.
I tell you what though, it's lovely. That park is just coming more and more and more and more alive.
Getting that drainage done and the
Oh.
grass done was amazing.
It's arguably the most used park in Christchurch.
Yeah.
Helen Miles used to say, no, the elephant park, but I think it's St Albans.
Oh, it's incredible how many people are in the park. It's amazing, really great.
Anyone else got anything?
Yeah, just I just want to refresh my memory on if there's any unfinished business with the submissions working group of just community board members. I think we're right.
Yeah, no, those
Don's
ones
closed
are
off.
all
Yeah,
signed off.
thank you.
Sent through, aren't
Just
they?
while we're here.
Yep.
Yep, thank you.
Wasn't there one that just came in like last week or? Might
They
not
won't
have.
have any opening at this time of year with Christmas.
No, that's right.
Just
Okay.
go on, get on
Okay.
the line, have a look.
Yeah.
They want to slip through.
Yeah, no, it was a strategy, I think, that they wanted from.
And I think those are included in the area report, our submissions.
Ah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, nothing else from anyone? Okay, in that case, we'll close the meeting with our karakia.
Yes.
Kia wākia, kia mama, te nākau, te tinana, te wairua, te tisua, te takasma. Oia tā te ro, whakawhakari, whakehe ki ringa, ke tina, tina, oia, tāi. Now, close the meeting. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas.